Israel has approved a new plan to bring the remaining members of India's Bnei Menashe community to Israel by 2030. The group identifies as descendants of the biblical tribe of Manasseh, and they are among India's last Jewish communities. Our correspondent, India Naftali, has the details.
Israel's government has now approved a 5-year plan to bring the majority of the remaining Bnei Menashe community from India to Israel. The decision, submitted by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Aliyah and Integration Minister Ophir Sofer, will enable about 5,800 community members to make Aliyah by the year 2030. Around 1,200 are expected to arrive by the end of 2026. There are currently an estimated 5,000 Bnei Menashe already living in Israel, most having arrived over the past 2 decades under previous government initiatives. The Bnei Menashe live primarily in the northeastern Indian states of Mizoram and Manipur, within the Kuki-Chin and Mizo communities. They are descendants of the biblical tribe of Manasseh, one of the 10 lost tribes of Israel, and are considered among India's last remaining Jewish communities. Under the plan, all new arrivals will undergo Orthodox conversion through the chief rabbinate. They will mainly settle in the north of the country, part of a broader effort to rebuild and strengthen the communities of the Galilee region following the war. Prime Minister Netanyahu called the move an important and Zionist decision, saying it will provide a boost to the north and help reunite families long divided between India and Israel. Aliyah Minister Sofer praised the decision as part of a wider wave of immigration in recent years, saying this Aliyah strengthens Israel's resilience, solidarity, and national renewal. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich said the move marks a renewed connection of brothers who have carried the yearning for Zion for generations. A government delegation is set to travel to India within days to begin processing applications. The operation will be coordinated by the Chief Rabbinate, the Conversion Authority, the Population and Immigration Authority, the Foreign Ministry, and the Jewish Agency. The first phase of the plan is budgeted at 90 million shekels through 2026. The funds will cover immigration costs, conversion, housing and absorption centers, Hebrew language programs, and employment support, helping the new arrivals integrate smoothly into their communities in the north.
And so, as Israel approves this landmark plan to bring the entire Bnei Menashe community home by 2030, we are now joined by India Naftali to discuss this issue here in studio. Thanks for joining us, India.
Thank you so much, Sivan.
So let's, to begin, understand, for viewers less familiar with this whole, with this community, who are the Bnei Menashe? What is their story?
So the Bnei Menashe are a Jewish community located in northeast India. They come from the tribe of Manasseh. They were in the land of Israel 2,700 years ago. They were exiled by the Assyrians, and they've been out of the land of Israel ever since. So for generations, they've been keeping Jewish customs and laws, keeping Shabbat, Jewish purity rituals, and that is really their claim to Judaism. They're one of the 10 lost tribes, and they're about a population of 10,000. They're part of India's very small Jewish population.
And now, what does this decision actually mean? How significant is it that Israel has now committed to bringing the entire Bnei Menashe community, roughly 6,000 people, by the end of the decade?
So this is historic, Sivan. I mean, this is the first time that the government has ever approved such a large mass aliyah. If we talk about the aliyah of the Ethiopian Jews, they were brought in several operations and waves. And this framework that's happening with the Bnei Menashe to bring the remaining roughly 6,000 that are in India, it's happening in one go, in one framework. So this is the first time. There's going to be families that have been separated for 20 years who haven't been able to make aliyah, that have been in India, and who are now going to be reunited with the roughly 5,000 Bnei Menashe community members here in Israel. Now, for you to understand, I mentioned in my piece that they're going to have to go through a conversion process, a Orthodox Jewish conversion process. So you might ask yourself, if they're Jewish, why would they have to go through that process?
Right.
Well, the answer is this. So because they've been exiled so long in the diaspora for over 2,000 years, the Judaism they practice isn't exactly the same as rabbinical Judaism, which was created after the destruction of the first temple, and they left right around that time of the destruction of the first temple. So the Judaism they practice is from that time era, and as we know, that rabbinical Judaism was created afterwards. So now that we're going to see them that their Judaism aligns with rabbinical Judaism that is considered halakha here in Israel.
Halakha, Jewish law here in Israel. So to make sure that everyone is aligned.
In the same practice of Judaism.
None of us are really 100% aligned,
That's
but
right.
More or less. All right, so the state delegation is flying to India within days, and the government allocated 90 million shekels for this first phase, covering conversion and housing and Hebrew education and integration. What challenges do you think that the state will face in absorbing such a large wave of immigrants?
Certainly the question of education. A lot of them come from communities where they don't have traditional education, so coming and finding job placement might be a difficult issue. But like you said, 90 million shekels is a huge pledge to make sure that these new members of our society have a smooth landing, and it's going to be invested in hopefully education, definitely housing, and they already have quite a significant community here to welcome them and show them the ropes.
And what are some of the actual community members saying about this big move?
Sivan, I know people who it's been their entire life's work for the past 20 years to bring this piece of the diaspora home to Israel. So for them, this is a completion of their life's dream. I mean, this is just the beginning of a historic moment of really bringing all Jews from across the world home to Israel. Wow, fantastic. I mean, it will be incredible to see this new wave of aliyah, of immigration coming to Israel, integrating, absorbing, and joining the Israeli public here in Israel, the Holy Land. Thank you very much, India, Naftali. Thank you, Sivan.